It's Joe here on day 5 of our positivity challenge here in my group, Women Who Lead with Heart. All about finding our channel of positivity, nurturing our spirit in effort to become the best leader we can be in our own lives, for our own people, in our households, for our communities, for our neighbors, and most of all, for those of us who are at work, for our teams, for our employees, and even for our bosses. How are we encouraging and developing our positivity? Because it's what we need to do as leaders at this time. Today, I've got a really exciting lesson for you. I hope I have my words on, because this is a concept that I find so inspiring, but it's a little bit out there. It's a little bit maybe a reach for us to describe, for me to find words without a two-way audience. But this word is resonance. And I want to talk about how resonance is so important to our internal environment and what it is, how we get more of it, and how it helps us build positivity in our lives. It helps us become an impactful, powerful, magnetic, confident leader who is co-creating reality in our world. Some big stuff. Okay, so resonance is a term that's used sort of in self-help books, and it's a common phrase in the personal development world. We got this, day 5, let's do it. But it's also a scientific term. So we're going to talk about resonance. I'm going to start with some definitions. Okay, so in its most empirical, scientific way of defining it, resonance is a scientific term that can relate to a quality in physics, in astronomy, in chemistry, even in mechanics. Resonance is the idea that frequency can be achieved with particles for a certain quality. So when we talk about resonance of sound, the description here is that when the frequency of sound is such that there is like a harmonic quality or a some sort of beautiful sound frequency, it's the resonance of sound, right? You talk about the resonance of somebody's deep bass voice. So resonance is a term that's used with talking about sound. Resonance is also used in chemistry to talk about the synchronicity of different chemicals when they come into balance or concert with one another, that two different distinct properties can come together in a resonant way to create something different. It has to do with synchronicity. It's also something that we talk about in terms of emotions. And an example would be that the resonant quality of the movie dissipated after the emotional experience was over. That resonance is a term that can speak to emotions and to the evocative nature of how we feel. So resonance is this really cool concept and term that has to do with sort of, I like to think of it as like a hum or a vibe or a channel of energy. I often use this descriptor that I didn't create, that I use a lot in my coaching, about the idea of upstream versus downstream when we talk about resonance. So let's just kind of explore this as a metaphor to understand this concept and this topic. That if we're talking about high resonance, and if we're talking about downstream energy, which is a term that's used by a wisdom thought leader, Abraham Hicks, which I can talk about later separately, but it's this notion that when you're in downstream energy, literally thinking about the flow of water, you're talking about ease. Downstream is all about the natural flow and momentum. Downstream energy is without resistance, without a dam or rocks or blockage, right? And I like to add, it has an emotional frequency of glee, of energy, of excitement. Downstream is faster, it's energetic, it has a spirit, it has momentum, it has less friction, and it is sort of same direction as the way things want to go. So this is what I mean when I use the catchphrase or the shorthand term downstream energy. And it is of high resonance. Even if there is a blockage, if you think about a river, water will flow around it, that there is a way for the path of least resistance to be achieved, especially if you're using a mental picture of water. Okay, so that's downstream energy and resonance. And then conversely, you can think about upstream energy or friction. That if you're rowing your boat upstream, how much harder is it? How much more effort is it to move upstream versus downstream? Upstream energy is efforting, trying, pushing and pulling. It is trying to work against something for gain rather than work with something for ease. Upstream takes energy. It's the opposite direction of flow, and it's full of friction. And the minute that you stop fighting the current going upstream, what happens? You flow downstream. So this whole notion of resonance and downstream versus upstream is what I want to talk about today, and how we can use this concept in our own definition of our leadership and our ability to find positivity in our lives. There are whole courses in the personal development realm about resonance causation, the idea that you can bring about more of this quality or this characteristic in your life, that you can cause positive resonance, you can lift your resonance, that it's under your control. So the notion is that you can choose what you focus upon. This is the beauty of pain and beauty in our life, is that we are not the one cell amoeba that's just like a pincushion that just reacts to stimuli. We are complex beings that have the power of choice, and we are capable of focusing our energy in a downstream way so that we have more ease, flow, and energy in our lives. That we can choose what we focus upon. This is the essence of being a powerful leader, of being powerful in your own self-management and having a solid concept of self as the absolute foundation before you even try to manifest being a leader for other people. Are you guys following me? This is the base. It's you finding this solid sense of yourself through focus, through saying, yes, there is a scary pandemic at work. Yes, there are risks to my sense of safety. Yes, there are circumstances that I cannot control. Yes, there are things that right now I can't do that I used to want to do or like to do. And I'm going to choose what I focus upon. I have the power to change my resonance because I choose what I focus upon. You guys following me? Have you ever seen these pictures of water in a microscopic view? Like, I'll post it in my group. There is microscopic views of tears, and the quality of the tears, the water of the tears that were shed in joy is like radically different looking than the quality of the water from tears shed in grief or sadness. The idea here is that our emotions do lend a frequency of energy that is quantifiable, that is able to be studied under a microscope. That you actually do have real power over the energetic field around you by controlling your emotions, and that you can actually control your emotions through focus. So this is why you really want to care about resonance, is because it creates your reality. It's not easy. I'm not saying it's super easy to, short circuit a negative downward cycle to get your ball out of the gutter, right? And come back up to a higher frequency. But it can be done because you're a human being and you can choose. So if emotions are the source of your experience, and they are, and if you have agency over how you feel, and you do, then you want to be focusing on building a positive, resonant environment for yourself, as if it's brushing your teeth in the morning. It is how you are preparing your mindset. It is getting into a certain stage to be able to be a leader in your life. It's how you're impactful, as first you're managing yourself. So you might want to know how. How do I do this? Like, it sounds all well and good. How do I find a downstream thought? How do I, find this channel of ease? How do I get out of this sense of, depression and feeling demoralized and feeling pessimistic and feeling like a drain on my energy? I want to know how. So, you ready? I'm going to give you some tips. Literally, resonance building is anything that boosts your mood. So you already have the answer. You have the answer how you can build resonance in your life, how you can positively add this energy in your life by just reflecting on a high state for you. When do you just feel like you're glowing? After a yoga practice? After laughing really hard at a funny movie that it's just so silly and you can't believe that it's that thrilling to you anymore? After you take a dance party break in your living room with some really cool funky music? After you have a runner's high from exercising? All of these things, you can just cast your thoughts within. When do I have a high moment? When do I feel energized? When do I feel that my resonance was high? And then take note. So some mood boosts that I've mentioned are things that are high energy producing. They can also be things that give you pleasure, like something beautiful, like creating a lovely drink for yourself with ice and, mint and slices of things and color. Anything that delights you helps build resonance, whether it's the smell of something, the taste of something, the creation of something, the sound of something. I find sensory entry points really positive for resonance causation. Being outside, being in nature is often a very easy resonance boost because nature is all about a resonant frequency. Being of art and beauty, it's a hard time now, but like to be able to go to a museum and just witness beautiful pieces of art or sculpture, or to be in a beautiful environment like a lovely hotel lobby. I know that these might not be applicable right now, but those can boost your resonance as well. To make your own space something pleasurable and tidy and inviting can boost your resonance. And of course, to be in and of love. I've studied with some coaches who talk about the lowest moment in their lives being when they lost their job, they were really at the ends of their income and feeling like they had to shift money around to pay bills and barely keep above water and, really survival. But at the same time in their lives, falling in love. And how, as they look back at that moment of time, all they remember is this super high frequency, this high vibe of falling in love. That you cannot be that love and fear cannot coexist in the same space, in the same time, in the same place. If you are really in and of love, then your resonance is going to be high, regardless of the circumstances around you. So, how do you feel about this lesson today? How are you with the idea that you can cause resonance and higher resonance in your life, and that it is the important foundation for you to be doing to set yourself up, to put yourself in state, right? As if you're brushing your teeth or preparing for your day in other physical ways, so that you are ready to perceive and react to things outside of yourself in the world in a more powerful, calm, self-aware, agency place. It resonates with me, says Ange. Yeah. It's what builds confidence. It's what gives you this solid sense of self. Like, I know me. I know what drives me. I know how to manage me. I know how to make me happy. And that's my job. It's not the economy's job. It's not the healthcare worker's job. It's not my employer's job to help me feel safe and happy. It's an inside job, and I got it. I know exactly how to do it. So I hope that you can fall in love with this idea that in this difficult time, if you're really internal, meaning that you're not really out in the world, you're not traveling, you're not seeing a lot of other people, you can actually tap this inner well that is going to set you up to be the most powerful, magnetic, confident person in your life that you've ever been, and ready to greet the world in this way. So what I'm leaning into is, how are you going to use this time of sort of like recessive energy, this time of sort of like looking inward and being inward? How are you going to use this time of self-isolation or shelter in home? How are you going to use this time as when we're lesser employed, when we have less to do, when there are less distractions? How can you use this time as a slingshot, like you're pulling back on the rubber band for jettisoning yourself into your powerful future? That is a beautiful reframe for you if you're feeling like this is a dormant time and nothing is happening. This is a time that your seed is in the soil and it is soaking up the rays of the sun and the water in your environment, and you're ready to spring. This is your time. So I want you to see this as a beautiful opportunity to invest in yourself, in your mindset, in the ways in which you want to train yourself to think, so that you are this powerful creator today, but even on into the future when you're ready to launch outside of your home and back into your world. I'm asking you, what kind of leader do you want to become from this period? You have invited me into your home, onto your phone for the last 5 days to participate in how you're going to invest in yourself with positivity. That's been an investment that you've made in yourself. And so I want to know, what else are you prepared to do to invest in yourself? That you want to know, how am I going to be better for this? And how am I going to come out on the other side? Are you ready for me to talk about the contest? I told you there would be prizes. Are you still in there? Are you still paying attention? Even if you're watching on the replay, you can play, you can participate, and you can win a prize. And they're very, very, very valuable prizes. Do you know why? Because it's all about time and focus and attention and energy. And you can't buy those, right? You can't get more of those. That's why it's so valuable. And what I'm offering, what I'm asking, is for you to be invested in yourself and in your development. And I'm offering as prizes free coaching with me. So I hope that seems valuable, that this past week and this talk today has just been one-on-one, right? Me delivering what I think has value to you because I feel like I know the people in my group. But imagine if you get on a call with me and you're able to spar with me and show me where your hesitations are, where your challenges are, where you have friction, where you don't know how to find this higher vibe. That's what coaching is. It's a two-way street. It's a collaborative process where you get to actually have somebody be in your space with you and sift and sort through what's going on to help grow you. So this hasn't been coaching that you've been receiving. This has just been me preaching. What you get if you win a prize is real coaching that is transformational. Like if you felt inspired by some of what I've offered this last week, if it's resonated for you, if it made a difference to you, it can only be that much more powerful when we're actually in discussion together. That's what coaching is. It's the most powerful relationship that I can think of. So I'm going to get to it now and I'll post it in the comments below. Here are the 3 ways that you can win free coaching with me. You ready? Bring it. I love having this environment and sharing in this way. And I want to grow this group. So my first prize goes to the woman who gets me the most new members to my group. And here's how you do it. You post on your feed. First, you go into the Women Who Lead with Heart group on Facebook, and you just copy the link on the top above. And you go into your own feed on Facebook and say, I'm a part of this really cool women's leadership group. I did a 5-day positivity challenge. The woman that runs it just talks like crazy and she's super fun, or whatever you want to say. And I got a lot out of it. And here's the link for you to join. And you can just plop it right in there. Tag me, then I know you did it. And then, or you can go in my group and on the right-hand side, there's a bar that allows you to invite other members and you can even write an invitation. Otherwise, it seems sort of random, like, why am I getting invited to this group? But you can actually write a note to, hey, Ashley, this is the women's group that I'm in. I thought you'd like to join. And then when you click invite, I see it, that Ashley has requested an invitation for Courtney to join this group. So, if you bring women to my group, I would love to give you a free coaching session. I don't even know how many I'm asking for. I just want more energy around this. Maybe I'll say the woman that brings me the most people within the next week is going to get a free coaching session. There's one, contest number 1. The way you can win free coaching, number 2, is to go back into each of these lives that I've done over the last 5 days and write a comment. What was your takeaway from that live? Easy, right? They're all in my group. Just go back. They're all labeled day 1, day 2, day 3, day 4. You might have to listen to them again to sort of refresh yourself about what was the most moving thing. But I want to create more energy around this teaching. So if you go in there and comment, the biggest takeaway I got from this, or my aha moment was that, give me a comment in there that helps bring more energy to this training and teaching. And then lastly, I don't know how to phrase this. I'd like to find out from you. I want to know, what is it that you want to grow in your own leadership? What do you most want in your toolbox? What do you want how can I be helpful? I love to do market research within my group to know, why are you here? What do you want to grow? What kind of person do you want to be? What kind of promotion are you after to get? What do you need? So I'd like you to actually maybe just post a unique post in my group, the most wanted thing that I want for myself in my leadership as a human, as a developing, powerful woman is blank. That's all you got to do. And for this one, I will just pick the best answer. So I'm giving out 3 free coaching sessions. You got inviting the most women that you know to my group within a week. Be the number 1 contributor. Number 2, commenting on each of my 5 lives this week with what you got out of it, so that there's energy around there and people will see it. And 3, for you just to post a unique post in this Women Who Lead with Heart group. The one thing that I'm most hoping to get out of this group is blank. Or maybe you could say, what I am getting out of this group is blank. So you can see I'm just asking for energy. I'm asking for a high vibe. I want more flow. I want more of all that is good. And you have been representing for me what is so good, that I get to be here, that I get to do this work, that I get to channel all the teaching and training that I've received in concert, in effort, in the hopes that I can do my highest work, that I can live up to my potential. It's so awesome. This is not a downtime. This is a time for us to prepare to be our best selves. So let's get it on. All right. Thanks so much for joining me for this amazing week of raising your positivity. And I can't wait to see you rise to the challenges and win yourself some free coaching. And I'll talk to you again real soon.